So I let Sunny explain the proposal because he's in favor of it.
Yeah, so Sunny's pro, and you're against.
Okay, so to understand this, you have to understand a little bit about the Cosmos fundraiser. So what happened is we allowed people to submit funds using Bitcoin or Ethereum. And when they participated in the fundraiser, they submitted they committed to a seed, like a private key that they were going to use on Cosmos. Keep in mind, this fundraiser happened in April 2017, and we told people that we would launch in December 2017. Instead, we launched in March of 2019. What happened in that interim is there are some people, to my knowledge, I know of at least 3 people in this situation where they have lost their Cosmos fundraiser. They claim to have lost their Cosmos fundraiser seats. However, they said that they do have access to their Bitcoin key that they use to participate in the fundraiser. So the question is, if no one ever redeems those funds from the Cosmos key, can we allow them to recover their funds by proving ownership of the Bitcoin key? And so the proposal that I have is that, we'll add a module to the Cosmos Hub that basically says, you can make a claim to a Genesis address using the key from the Bitcoin or Ethereum fundraiser. And if that address has never made a transaction in over, some time frame, we'll set it to a year or 2 years, at that point we can assume that that key is actually lost, and we'll allow the funds to be moved from the Genesis address to a new address that's been signed by the Bitcoin key. This sounds like something where it's completely fair that, the reason I'm okay with this is because we promised people that they had to keep their fundraiser seeds safe and secure for 8 months, when instead we made them hold it secure for 3 times as long.
Well, I'm obviously against it, and I will present 3 reasons why I'm against it. The first one is that it's not completely safe, it's exploitable. So for example, if someone claimed they lost their key, and they got their Bitcoin key hacked, right, their Bitcoin private key hacked, then they can effectively lose their add-ons. So Sunny will say, okay, but they did not participate in like 1 year or 2 years. And he said that he was right by saying that we made them wait way longer than expected. So I will argue that it's very plausible that some participants will have completely forgotten about Cosmos. Like in early 2017, it was the early days of ICO. Nobody cared about Cosmos. Everybody was investing Bitcoins here and there. So what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, it's possible that their Bitcoin key was hacked, and they will wake up in 2 years without their add-ons. And even if the probability is low, I think it's unacceptable. The second thing is that I don't think the PR for the Cosmos Hub would be good, and I think that's really the point we need to debate here is, will this increase the value of the network? Will this set a good precedent or not? I think it will set a bad precedent, because this is exploitable, and we are arguing as a community that it is fine that you lose your money, or you can lose your money if you do not participate for a certain period of time in the network. I think this would be very bad PR for the network and a complete shitstorm, to be honest. And the third point is that in order to do that, you have to actually create a new module for the hub, add new logic, do all kinds of stuff, governance proposals, for only 3 people. And again, I sympathize with them. But for all the cons that it brings, I think it's way too much to ask. There is also the fact that we've had evidence in the past that people do not want these things to happen. Of course, the Bitcoin community would be against it. That's like 100% certain. The Ethereum community is currently conflicted about the parity recovery thing. The parity recovery thing is actually better than what we're currently proposing because it's not exploitable. Ours is exploitable.
Yeah, I hear you, but so there's 2 things I'd like to do here. I think we should accept that, we're not the Bitcoin community, we're not the Ethereum community, we're a new community, and we are setting the precedents today. 2 of the precedents that I'd like to set is that we've been telling people that an Aggarwal holder has obligations. They are supposed to be staking. That's the purpose of this token. They're supposed to be participating in governance. If someone has been sitting on their atom, without making a single transaction, not a single delegation, not a single governance vote, not even like transferring the tokens from exchange. Even that does something useful where you're providing liquidity to the market, right? Like if you're not doing anything useful for the network and you got your Bitcoin keys hacked, I think this is like a fair system. And you know, I think it's okay to like do this. We're not creating like hard money here. Like if this was Bitcoin, I would never be okay with it. If this was I'm an Ethereum Classic supporter because Ethereum pitched itself. The precedent of Ethereum was this whole code is law thing, and I think that they completely fucked up and broke that like rule that they made. But that's not our rule. We're not Ethereum. We can set the rules here. This is this community, and we're setting the new precedent for this new system that we're creating. I think that we should set a precedent of practicality over idealism.
So we will be setting a precedent of doing something that can be attacked, and I will provide an attack scenario, right? Consider you have person A, person B, right? Person A still has their atom key, but they claim they don't have their atom key, right? They give their Bitcoin private key to person B, okay? Then person B does this recovery stuff, and they recover the atoms, right? Then 1 year and a half later, not 1 year, 1 year and a half later, a bit after that, the person B sells the atoms, so they don't have exposure to atoms anymore.
Yeah.
Then person A can come and say, well, I don't have my atom anymore, I want to reclaim them, I cannot, okay?
Yeah.
And they can short the market, and then what do you think will happen? If someone claims that they got the atom stolen because they were not there for 1 year and a half, what do you think the people that want to take Cosmos down will do? They will obviously take this and make a very, very bad PR out of all this. We have cryptographic evidence that someone got their atom stolen from them. And I just want to make a point to differentiate between incentive and obligation. In Cosmos, we have an incentive to participate. But we never said, never, not in the white paper, never ever did we say that it would happen, that we could take your atoms if you do not participate. We never said that. And we would make this new rule that we never said it would happen. And I think it's completely unfair for people that lost their set on their atoms because we took so long to launch.
So closing remarks?
Okay, is there any time period that you would be okay with? I'm not married to this 1 year idea. If someone doesn't participate in Cosmos for 5 years, are they considered to be not a participant of the network and deserving of the station tokens to be taken?
So I would say maybe 10 to 20 years, or maybe even more than that. And the problem is that then they will recover atoms that essentially get inflated out. So they will lose their money anyway. So I think for it to be secure, you will have to wait tens and tens of years, right? But then they will lose their atoms anyway because the atom supply will be inflated from that.
So does that mean we're also never allowed to increase the inflation of atoms because then that screws over? You had this idea that people rationally decided not to
No, you can increase the inflation of atoms, but we will never do it rationally by 100. We will never put an inflation rate that is so absurd because we know that this will destroy the value of atoms. And your proposal will do exactly the same, destroy the value of atoms.
Okay, another thing though is keep in mind that any atom holder is expected to be following along with governance. That is one of their requirements because there have been proposals that any atom holder should be keeping up with governance. If they don't, they're not even going to be on the network anymore. They're going to be not even running the right node software anymore. They have to keep up with governance, and that's a requirement. And that's why we have to use the governance model as a bulletin board to spread this idea.
Okay. You have to vote now. If you are on Sunny's side, yes. Raise your hand.